Hello Year 1, I'm going to talk you through your maths learning today, and it is Thursday the 14th of January. So first of all, your retrieval, so your number bonds to 10. Just going to move myself over so you can see there, so you can use that to support you for that. And then once you've done your number bonds to 10, so remember this is a recap of learning things you should already know, then can you do your number bonds to 20, so there's to 10 and to 20. So after you've done that, I want you to have a think about today's date. So what day is it today? What day was it yesterday? And what day will it be tomorrow? So what we are learning to do today, so we are learning to tell the time to half past the hour. And how can we be successful with this? So we need to be able to tell the time, and we need to know what half past the hour means and what that looks like. So by the end of this lesson, hopefully you'll be able to do that. So key vocabulary, we should be getting really good at this and using these time words. It's clock hand, hour hand, minute hand, o'clock and half past, which you should have been using throughout this week. So can you have a look at an analog clock? What do you already know about a clock? What do you know? What do you already know? And what can you remember? So think back, what have we been learning this week? So thinking about o'clock as well. So do you know what half past the hour is and what that means? So I'll give you some time to think. If you pause here, have a think, you can write it down or tell somebody, and then I'll drop that down so you can see. So half past the hour is when the minutes hand of a clock is pointing at the 6. Okay, so your minute hand is your big hand, and it should be pointing at your 6. Okay, and this means that the minutes hand has completed half a turn. So this is a whole turn. A clock is a circle, a whole turn. So it's moved to half a turn. Okay, and it's been half an hour since the last hour. So a whole hour is obviously the whole way round. So half an hour is halfway round. 30 minutes have passed in half an hour. So that's the same. Half an hour and 30 minutes are the same as well. So I'm just going to move over to another PowerPoint now to discuss that a bit further. Bear with me. So here, there's some slides. I'll add these on as well if you can access those. It's just some questions about how many seconds there are in a minute to support you with this learning, how many minutes there are in an hour, how many minutes are there in half an hour, how many days there are in a month, and how many days there are in a year. So that's all linked to time, okay? So a clock face is a full circle. So just as I said with my clock here, it's a full circle, which is made up of 2 halves. You can see it split in half on the screen. How many minutes make up half an hour? Okay, so if the whole hour is 60 minutes, you can see the numbers on that clock there. How many minutes are half an hour? So there are 30 minutes in half an hour. So you can see that on the clock there, that's half of the hour. A whole turn is an hour, and half turn is 30 minutes, it's half an hour. So when it is 30 minutes past the hour, we say half past or half past the hour. Look at this time here, the big hand is pointing at 6. Okay, that blue hand, which is halfway around the clock. Where is the small hand pointing? Is it on the number, or is it halfway between 1 and 2? Okay, that's quite tricky. So the big hand, where is the big hand? So the big hand, the minute hand, is at the 6 at the bottom, so it always is there for half past. And the little hand, sorry, go back up to that one. So the little hand, or the hour hand, was between the 1 and the 2. So it's halfway between 1 and 2. So it's half past 1. It's half past the 1. Okay? Quite tricky. So that hour hand doesn't stay on the number like it does at o'clock. So as you can see, as it moves round, the minute hand moves, the hour hand moves as well. Can you see that? Okay. So again, what time is this clock showing? What do you know about the small hand? What time is the clock showing? And which clock is showing half past 2? Which one is showing half past 9? And which clock is showing half past 7? So you might want to use that and work that out as well. Okay, back onto here. So what does o'clock look like on a clock? So sorry, not o'clock, it should be half past. So what does half past look like on a clock? So the hour hand, so the small hand, is just past or halfway past the number. So we just spoke about that. And the minute hand is always on the 6 at the bottom. So here, 1:30, the hand is just after the 1, or between the 1 and the 2, which you can see here. And then the minute hand is on the 6, so that's 1:30. So I'm going to show you some times now. I'm going to show you on the clock. You might want to make this on your own clock or just talk about the time. So can you tell the time to half past the hour? So let's look at some clocks now, some clock times. So what time is it, or what time is this? Okay, so I'll make the same. So that's 4:30. Give me some time to think. 2:30. 5:30. 8:30. 9:30. 10:30. 12:30. 3:30. Excuse the noise of the clock, it's a bit of a rusty one. 11:30. And I'll leave it there. And again, think about what you do at these times. Is it the morning or is it the evening? So you can complete the following activities now. So I'll talk you through those and what they look like. So you can either complete this activity, which there is a document you can click on, print this out and do this. So you can write the time in, or if you want to, you can sort of read, tell the time and then cut and stick and match them. So there's that activity you might want to do on that analog clock. And then this one here, there's some smaller clocks and you can write the time underneath on those lines. And then any of that learning, if you want to share it with your teacher, if you send it through the parent support email, which is the links there, and then if you, in the subject, just put your teacher's class and your child's first name, so it goes to the right teacher. And then we can respond. So your fly high challenge is, can you talk about or write down what you do at the correct times? So it should be 5:30. Sorry about that. Okay, what you do at those times. That can be, you can talk about it or you can write that down, that's fine. And then there's some additional questions here to challenge your thinking further if you want to fly high. So can you explain to your partner, so a person at home, or write it down, how to show 8:30 on your clock? So you might want to draw that out, talk about it, or you may want to create your own clock and show that. There's also a problem-solving question here, which it says, create a short play with your friends on activities you would do at 12:30, 7 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. So just what things could you do at those times? So what would you do at maybe at 12:30? So what would you do at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock? So we're bringing in our o'clock learning from the last few days as well. And is it in the morning, in the evening? She might do different things at 7 in the morning to 7 at night. Okay. And then your recap at the end is just to share with somebody what is 5:30 and which hands go where. So talking about the hands, where should they be for 5:30 hour? Okay, thank you for sharing hopefully you'll see some of your learning and enjoy.